Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Chip Shots. Hope everybody had a great week out there. I am your host, Gary Mack. Took last week off because of Hurricane Henry. Kind of got in the way of things, so just figured I'd chill for a week. But we're back this week, and after an exciting first round of the playoffs last week with Tony Finau winning, we are back with more PGA playoffs as the men are going at it, and they went at it this week. And congratulations to Patrick Cantlay amid the waves of noise from the boisterous galleries on every hole, playing alongside Bryson DeChambeau. An unflappable Patrick Cantlay finally put an end to an instant classic at the BMW Championship by making a 17-footer for birdie on the sixth playoffs hole at Caves Valley Golf Club to topple DeChambeau. His back against the proverbial wall, including on the final three holes of regulation, the first three holes of a playoff, and then on the fifth extra hole after DeChambeau hit first and knocked his wedge from 186 yards to 6 feet on the par 3 17th. Cantlay came up clutch every time. His putter was on fire. I never saw anybody sink such long putts under such pressure consistently like Patrick Cantlay did. He made putts for par on the 16th from 9 feet and for bogey on the 17th from 8 feet. He rolled in a 21-footer for birdie on the 72nd hole of fourth playoff. After surviving three DeChambeau putts to end the playoff, the first three holes, Cantlay followed DeChambeau's brilliant tee shot on the fifth extra hole with his shot to inside 3 feet, and both made birdie. On the final hole, both found the fairway, and Cantlay won the second FedEx Cup playoffs event and his fifth PGA Tour title with his day-ending putt on the sixth extra hole in the fading light. It was a classic. It was a duel. They dueled most of the day, going back and forth, sharing the lead. One would take the lead. DeChambeau at one point had a two-shot lead, and it crept back, and he bogeyed, I think it was 16, and had the one-shot lead going into the 18th, where Cantlay birdied and was able to tie him, and then they went into this exciting playoff that it just seemed like it was never going to end. But congratulations, Patrick Cantlay comes on top, and he will be number one going into the Tour Championship, and DeChambeau will be number 3 in the rankings, and going into the final tournament next week, the 30 men in the Tour Championship. And on the Champions Tour, teeing off the 18th hole with a two-shot lead, Joe Durant had to play his second shot from the 9th fairway. Two swings later, and he was facing a 5-foot bogey putt that he made for 68 to seal the win by one shot over the ageless Bernhard Langer. It is Durant's 4th senior circuit win and his first since the 2018 Chubb Classic. Durant had 4 birdies on his front 9, then strung together a bunch of pars to maintain a 2-shot lead through most of the day. He birdied the 16th and needed that extra cushion, as it turned out. His bogey on 18th snapped a 44-hole bogey-free streak. Langer, who turned 64 on Friday and celebrated by shooting his age. After 36 holes, he was tied with Doug Barron for the lead, but could not hold on as Durant got red hot. Langer has been stuck on 41 PGA Tour Champions wins since March 2020, and he's going to stay on 41 as his final round 70 just wasn't enough. Hale Irwin is the all-time champions leader with 45 victories, and Langer has 38 runner-up finishes. Imagine that. 41 wins on the PGA Tour Champions and 38 runner-up finishes. That's quite it's an incredible record. But congratulations to Joe Durant getting his fourth title on the senior circuit. The LPGA had the week off after playing the Women's British Open as they prepare for the Solheim Cup. So they took the week off, but the European Tour was in action, and it was Rasmus Højgaard who fired a 7-under round of 63 to win the European Masters on Sunday by one stroke from Bernd Wiesberger, who made double bogey at the 18th after hitting into a greenside bunker. Wiesberger, who is on the fringes of selection for Europe's Ryder Cup team next month, hit his tee shot at par 4 18th into a bunker, then found water with his second shot. The Austrian player took a 6 and carded a 65 to fall into second place in the tournament at the high-altitude Kranz Sierra Club. The 20-year-old, this blows my mind, 20 years old, and the guy's got 3 wins on the European Tour already. The 20-year-old Højgaard's late charge had left him leading in the clubhouse at 13 under. That held up for his third victory on the European Tour. His round of 5 birdies and 1 eagle 3 on the 14th included playing the last 6 holes in 5 under par. He made a 5-foot birdie putt at the 18th that proved decisive. Henrik Stenson also shot a clean round of 63 with 7 birdies in the sun-bathed Swiss Alps to move up to third place at 11 under. And 20 years old, I mean, that's just incredible in my estimation that a guy that young is so good. Not that he's so good, but that he's winning and get 3 wins already on the tour. Unbelievable. But that wraps up the recap of all the week's actions on the tour, and we'll be back right after this message.
Sponsor an ad on the podcast. Support our show and let people know about your business. Email us today.
516-619-6341. That is the voicemail hotline if you'd like to leave a question, a comment, anything at all. Just call that number, 516-619-6341, and we'll play it on the air. Or if you'd like to be old-fashioned and send me an email, send it to talkinggolf@gmail.com. That's talkinggolf@gmail.com. It's time for the
Golf News of the Week.
And after a wild season that featured countless playoffs, legendary wins, and improbable comebacks, it all comes down to this. The PGA Tour season will wrap this week with the Tour Championship and the final event of the FedEx Cup playoffs at East Lake in Atlanta. After 69 of the best players in the league fought it out to get to Atlanta, there was some that made it and some that didn't, and some were quite notable of the players that made it and did not make it. And 2 players made massive leaps and played their way into the final field, while 2 others also played their way out. In is Eric Van Rooyen. The man in joggers finished with a 5th at the BMW Championship with a Sunday 65, thanks to birdies on 2 of his final 3 holes. In is Sergio Garcia. The 2017 Masters champion was the only other player to climb into the top 30, rising from 44 to 28th with a final round 69 that left him in a tie for 6th with Dustin Johnson. In is Patrick Reed, and we almost leave a question mark with this because he is currently recovering back home in Houston after being hospitalized with bilateral pneumonia. Reed didn't play in either of the first 2 FedEx Cup events and still held on to the final spot in the field at number 30. Yet it's unknown at this time whether Reed will actually be capable of playing, so we may see somebody else slip in. But as of now, he's in. Out is Charlie Hoffman, the four-time winner on tour, including the 210 Deutsche Bank Championship, fell 3 places from number 29 to 32 after a 2 minus under 70 in a final round and finished tied for 38. Out is Max Homa, the fan favorite on tour and winner of the 2021 Genesis International, joined Hoffman on the wrong side of the line after a tied for 63 at the BMW, ending his season in 35th place on the FedEx Cup standings. Out is also Kevin Kisner, who won the Wyndham Championship just 2 weeks ago, but his season will end one event short in 38th place on the standings. Kisner began on the outside looking in at 31st spot before finishing tied for last at 1 under the BMW. Two other big names that are out is Webb Simpson, and he hasn't won since the RBC Heritage in June 2020. He shot a pair of 66 to finish tied for 12th, but it wasn't enough as he finished 10 spots outside the Tour Championship field. And the other big name that will not be in the Tour Championship is Phil Mickelson. Joining Kisner, tied for last at the BMW, was Lefty, who knew he had to put on a show this week if he had any shot at the Ryder Cup as well as the Tour Championship. But it was not to be. So Phil Mickelson will not be at the Tour Championship. But these things happen, and we'll see him next year, I guess, or whenever the 2021-2022 season begins in a couple of weeks. Matthew Wolff achieved a rare feat last week at the Wyndham when he missed the cut but still took home a bigger check than anyone in the field, except for the champion. Wolff claimed the season-long Aon Risk Reward Challenge and a corresponding $1 million prize last week. The 22-year-old Oklahoma State product took care of business with a birdie at the par 5 15th hole in his second round to reach the contest's 40-round minimum. The challenge is based around chosen holes at tour spots throughout the year and designed to test a player's strategy on what are considered some of the most challenging holes a player will face week to week. For every participating event, a player's best two scores on the designated hole counts towards the season-long leaderboard. Wolff had played the designated hole at 10 risk-reward events in an average of 1.105 under par. So congratulations to Matthew Wolff taking home a nice paycheck, even though he struggled and missed the cut in the Tour in the Wyndham Championship last week. We just weren't here to report it last week. So the USA, we were talking about the LPGA and how they took the week off for the Solheim Cup team. Well, they announced the final players on that team, and these three players, I'm from Queens. These three players joined the 9 automatic qualifiers for Team USA who were named following the completion of play at the AIG Women's Open. Nelly Korda, Danielle Kang, Ali Ewing, Austin Ernst, Lexi Thompson, Jessica Korda, and Megan Kang all qualify for the USA Solheim Cup team standings, while Lizette Salas and Jennifer Kupcho qualified off the Rolex Women's World Golf Rankings. Captain Hurst also named Stacey Lewis as his third assistant captain, joining fellow assistants Angela Stanford and Michelle Wee West. The European team has been selected. Europe's Catriona Matthew announces captain's picks. The other 6 players earned their spots via world ranking points. Anna Norquist, Sophia Popov, Charlie Hole, Carlotta Saganta, and Ladies European Tour points, Emily Christine Patterson and Georgia Hall are okay. Matthews used her captain's picks to add 3 rookies, Leona Maguire, Matilda Castron, and Nana Coates Manson. Her other 3 picks were Madeline Sagstrom, Mel Reed, and Celine Boudier. So that is the European team, the Solheim Cup, as well as the USA Solheim Cup team. And as we said earlier, get well soon to Patrick Reed, who was in a hospital. He's now home recovering from bilateral pneumonia. And we'll see. Maybe he's feeling up to playing. He'll be able to play this upcoming week. Sure would be good to see Captain America in that event. And a federal judge in Florida has granted the PGA Tour's motion for a summary judgment and dismissed instructor Hank Haney's lawsuit against the tour, in which he alleged that it pressured Sirius XM Radio to suspend him and then terminate him from hosting his radio show after his controversial comments about women's golf. Haney, who's best known for working with Tiger Woods, sued the PGA Tour in federal court in Fort Lauderdale in December, alleging tortious interference with contract and tortious interference with business relations. The PGA Tour's lawyers asked the judge to dismiss Haney's lawsuit in February of 2020, alleging that he failed to prove that the decision to fire him was based on anything other than the radio network's own review of Haney's racist, xenophobic, and sexist comment about the LPGA and its players. So he lost that case, and will be, I guess, scrounging around to see what happens next for Hank Haney. All right, another quick break, and we'll be back with the schedule right after this.
Sponsor an ad on the podcast. Support our show and let people know about your business. Email us today.
516-619-6341. That is the voicemail hotline if you'd like to leave a question, a comment, anything at all. Just call that number, 516-619-6341, and we'll play it on the air. Or if you'd like to be old-fashioned and send me an email, send it to talkinggolf@gmail.com. That's talkinggolf@gmail.com. Okay, we're back, and it's time for the calendar. Let's see. As we've said throughout the show, the Tour Championship takes place next week. Dustin Johnson is the defending champion. That'll be at the East Lake Golf Course in Atlanta, outside Atlanta. The Champions Tour is off as they start to prepare. They've still got a couple months before their championship, so we'll get to see some of the PGA Tour champions for a while yet. And the LPGA, as I said, will be playing the team event, the Solheim Cup, USA versus Europe. Europe is the defending champion, but they're playing this year on USA soil. So be sure to check that out this week. And on the European Tour, they're in Italy, and they're playing the DS Automobiles Italian Open. So the National Open of Italy is being played this week. So check that out as well on Golf Channel. And that is going to wrap it up for this week's show. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me every week, hopefully every week, on YouTube or on Anchor.fm or on Spotify, Castbox, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you watch or listen to the show. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell on YouTube for you YouTube listeners, and it'll tell you when a new episode is out all the time. So please hit subscribe. It helps us to grow the channel and to subscribe to new listeners. And if you're on YouTube watching, give us a like if you don't mind. That also helps us out with the analytics of YouTube. So please do that as well. And once again, thank you all for your support. I hope you'll continue to support us. And until next time, remember, as you walk down the fairways of life, you must smell the roses, for you only get to play one round. And I'll see you next time on another edition of Chip Shots.